Hello, and welcome to Alicia Moose Knitting, where I talk about my knitting, spinning, crocheting, and weaving. Today is episode 11, and I'm wearing the Waves of Change jacket by Denis Bayron in the Patons Evermore in Slate Tweed. This is the wrapper. This is also my first finished object for today. This yarn is 90% recycled wool and 10% polyester. The body of the sweater is knit on a US 10, which I've forgotten the millimeters. We'll try and put it down here below. And the cuffs are all on a US 9. I'm going to stand up to show you the rest of the sweater. So the sweater hits kind of mid-hip length. It calls for snaps to be put on. I haven't decided if I'm going to install the snaps or just leave it as an open jacket. But it's a really great, well-written pattern, easy to follow, and this is my third one, so obviously I really enjoy this pattern. My second finished object are socks for my husband. Put one down and get one closer so you can see it a little better. This is made with the Patons Kroy sock in the color Saltwater. So for these socks, I didn't really use a pattern. I just started at the toe and went up. One by one ribbing at the top. I used a US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter needle. I did this on a 9-inch circular needle for the most part, except for the toes and heels. The heels, I cut in for an afterthought heel and basically made it exactly like a wedge toe. So I'm happy to have these socks done for him. This will be my pair of socks for May. So I've been able to stay on track with one pair of socks a month for the year so far. So that's really nice. I don't really know if I have anything else to say about those, but happy they are done. Next, we'll move on to my works in progress. My first one is the Silver Lining Hat by Kristen Hipsky. I first found this pattern on the Knitting Daily TV show that was on PBS. So you start at the crown and do your increases, and then you knit a big tube and you do a crown at the other end. So last time I showed this hat, I was here. So I got about 6 inches completed. This has been my purse knitting project, take it around everywhere with me. This is in the KC Sockstar Pinky Peach Pop. So this is knit on a US 2, which I believe is a 2.75 millimeter needle. So that's coming right along. Hopefully that'll be finished before too long. The next project that I'm working on is the Bienvenidas cardigan by Vera Sanon, and I'm using a red cotton yarn for this. I'm having to modify the pattern slightly in doing a different size from what I would need to because my gauge is off. But I'm knitting this one on a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle. So this cardigan starts at the top and has overlapping fronts. So I'm still working on the raglan increases for the sleeves, but I was able to get about 3 or 4 inches done on this project. It's a little hard to see, but fronts overlap like this and it goes down. This cotton, I have no clue where it originally came from, but I got it from a recraft store, and it came in a big giant cone. So I have more than enough yarn for this project, as well as probably 10 or so more. So hope you don't get sick of this color, because we're going to see it for quite a while. The last thing I worked on this week are some granny squares, using the Yarnspirations Red Heart Granny all-in-one square. So this has actually been giving me a little bit of trouble. For the final color, you were supposed to have 24 extra inches to weave things in at the end. And as you can see, on this one, I have about 1.5 inches left. And on these two, I didn't quite make it all the way around. So I guess I'm going to rip back on the black and see if I can get it a little bit tighter. And I'll have to find another yarn to be able to sew them together or crochet them together when I'm done. Because clearly there is not enough black yarn in the cake for me to make it all the way around. The last thing I have to talk to you today is a future project. So I keep stopping by the Joann's, as you do, trying to get in every last trip before they disappear, and found this yarn. It is the Yarnspirations Colorama Lacy in the colorway Aloe. So I saw this top and decided, wow, that seems like an easy pattern. So it's on the Yarnspirations website, and it's the Knit Drop Stitch Tee. So it's a free pattern on their website. For the size I'm going to make, it said I needed 2 balls of yarn, so I bought 2. The pattern is actually worked from the bottom to the bottom. So you start at the bottom of the back and go up and over the shoulders, and then down to the bottom of the front, and then seam up the sides. So it's a construction that I've done, I guess, once before for a vest. It was an open front vest, but it's an interesting construction. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. But this says it's knit on US 10. Oh, it says it's a US 10, which is a 6mm needle, and a US 9, which is a 5.5mm needle. So those are the needle sizes that I used for this sweater. So it'd be nice to get something on the needles that's a little more instant gratification than a cardigan on the US 3 needles. So I'm looking forward to getting that started, and looking forward to sharing it with you all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope to see you again next time. Bye.